My humble obeisances to you all. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today Maharaj is going to speak on the topic of Ayurveda and the science of optime healthcare. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We look forward for this new topic, Maharaj. Do you want me to share any verse for this particular topic today?
Yeah, we're gonna go slightly off Ayurveda, but still on Ayurveda by beginning with one verse from the Bhagavad Gita, from the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We'll do verses 8, 9, and then 10 will be the main verse. And we'll speak basically on something that Prabhupada put a lot of importance on it. Devotees making sure that they do whatever is needed to keep good health. Okay, we'll begin with these Bhagavad Gita verses. I'm going to read just the translation without the purports, and then we'll go to the purport on verse number 10.
Yes, Maharaj.
This is chapter 17, verse number 8.
Yes,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ayu Sattva Balarogya Sukha Priti Vivardhanaham Rashyasnigdha Stira Ridya Ahara Sattvika Priyaha. Translation: Food is dear to those in the mode of goodness, increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. So that's foods in the mode of goodness. Katyavamla lavya yadyushna tikshna ruksa vidahinaha ahara rajasasyesta dukkha sokha maya pradaha. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. 10. Yata yamangata rasam bhuta purayusitam chayat ushitam apacha medyam bhojanam tamasa priyaham. Foods prepared more than 3 hours before eating, food that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid, and food consisting of remnants of untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. So now we're hearing about foods in the three categories, the three modes, and how there are classes of people that gravitate to each type of food. Purport. The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life, purify the mind, and aid bodily strength. This is its only purpose. I'll read again. The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life, purify the mind, and aid bodily strength. This is its only purpose. In the past, great authorities selected those foods that best aid health and increase life duration, such as milk products, sugar, rice, wheat, fruits, and vegetables. These foods are very dear to those in the mode of goodness. Some other foods, such as baked corn and molasses, while not very palatable in themselves, can be made pleasant when mixed with milk or other foods. Then they are then in the mode of goodness. All these foods are pure by nature They are quite distinct from untouchable things like meat and liquor. Fatty foods, as mentioned in verse 8, have no connection with animal fat obtained by slaughter. Animal fat is available in the form of milk, which is the most wonderful of all foods. Milk, butter, cheese, and similar products give animal fat in the form which rules out any need for killing of innocent creatures. It is only through brute mentality that this killing goes on. The civilized method of attaining needed fat is by milk. Slaughter is the way of subhumans. Protein is available through split peas, dal, whole wheat. Foods in the mode of passion, which are bitter, too salty, too hot, or overly mixed with red pepper, cause misery by reducing the mucus in the stomach, leading to disease. Foods in the mode of ignorance or darkness are essentially those that are not fresh. Any food cooked more than 3 hours before it's eaten, except prasadam, food offered to the Lord, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Because they are decomposing, such foods give a bad odor, which often attracts people in this mode, but repulses those in the mode of goodness. Remnants of food may be eaten only when they are part of a meal that was first offered to the Supreme Lord or first eaten by saintly persons, especially the spiritual master. Otherwise, the remnants of food are considered to be in the mode of darkness, and they increase infection or disease. Such foodstuffs, although very palatable to persons in the mode of darkness, are neither liked nor even touched by those in the mode of goodness. The best food is the remnants of what is offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord says that he accepts preparations of vegetables, flour, and milk when offered with devotion. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Of course, devotion and love are the chief things which the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts. But it's also mentioned that the prasadam should be prepared in a particular way. Any food prepared by the injunctions of the scriptures and offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be taken even if prepared long, long ago, because such food is transcendental. Therefore, to make food antiseptic, eatable, and palatable to all persons, one should offer food to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Umgyantimirandasya Ganajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Staptitam Yena Bhutalam Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gorvani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Desatarine Vanchakopa Tirubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sometimes there's a saying, you are what you eat. And it's quite has a lot of value in that saying because in many cases it is food that makes the difference in how we think, how we act, and how we react also. In other words, the quality of food and the principle of accepting food is very much intricate, particularly in the life of those who are practicing spiritual knowledge, spiritual devotion to Krishna. Prabhupada you'll see Prabhupada wrote this whole purport. It sounds like it's coming from some nutritionist, but it's coming from His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, who, although he spent most of his time speaking on philosophical and transcendental subject matters and engaging devotees in practical devotional service, he covered all aspects of life, and especially the process of eating, which he emphasized by keeping good health through eating properly, and especially emphasizing the importance of taking only Krishna prasadam. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter, food that is not offered to him and is eaten by others is sinful. And there is a reaction for eating. One must acknowledge the source of food, which is not the agricultural field or the farmer, but the person who gives life through food, Krishna himself, as he fertilizes the field with the seeds, and he also gives nourishment to those seeds in the form of rain and sunlight. So those who fail to acknowledge the Supreme Lord will get a reaction for eating, a sinful reaction. And Prabhupada put a lot of emphasis on that. And when we come to the principle of health, we see that food is one of the essential pillars by which our health is either developed or reduced. There is one science called the science of Ayurveda. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 8th canto, 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the appearance of a plenary portion of the plenary portion of the Lord, who is a manifestation of Lord Vishnu. His name was Dhanvantari, who brought the science of medicine into the world, which is the science that is coming from transcendental knowledge. That's why it's called Ayurveda. Ayur means longevity of life, and Veda represents that knowledge which is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that particular pastime, he brought one pot, which was called the immortality of life, or the nectar. Of course, there's a whole pastime that centers around that. But that is the original, or you might say, the principle of real medicine. We have so many forms of medicine nowadays. There is allopathic, there is, when we say homeopathic, there's naturopath, and there's other invented forms of medicines also that people have spent time developing, which may or may not be beneficial. And then you have the original source coming from God himself, called Ayurveda. Ayurveda consists of 3 aspects of life. 1 is proper diet. 2 is proper medicine, which is both preventative and curative. Medicine has to be of both. Medicine also has to be preventative in order to stem the tide of disease. And curative is there when there is disease, of course. And then the last part of Ayurveda is the spiritual part, which unfortunately has diminished over time for those who practice Ayurveda in the form of doctors. That has become less. But actually, if you go to the original scriptures from the Ayurvedas, you'll find much emphasis on practicing devotion to the Lord as part of keeping good health. It's interesting that devotion to the Lord actually is one of the main ways by which health is fortified. and strengthened. Ayurveda teaches how to live, not only how to cure or prevent disease, but it teaches you how to live. It's a lifestyle that comes. Ayurveda is based on the essence of one's existence in terms of the body, which is digestion. When digestion is good, then it's considered the body is healthy. When digestion is not good or minimized or deteriorating, there will be reasons for getting diseases. Ayurveda doesn't simply deal with the symptoms of a disease, but disease goes to the essence or the cause of a disease. And what is the cause of a disease according to Ayurveda? The imbalance of three aspects of the body's existence, which is called kapha, pitta, vayu, air, bile, and mucus. Each relegates to different parts of the body. And when there is a balance between these three, then there is optimum health. When an imbalance comes, there is some need for medicine and maybe an alteration of lifestyle and diet. We see from modern day medicine that is there on the market, which we call generally, we call it allopathic. They don't deal with lifestyle, nor do they deal with food. They simply see things in terms of the symptoms that a person has according to the disease and prescribes medicine based on the symptoms, which most of the time doesn't really speak about the cause of the disease. When you don't know the cause, simply dealing with the symptom will sometimes either exasperate the disease or give a temporary cure by eliminating the symptom, but the disease just reroots itself in different parts of the body. Therefore, modern day invented medicines are somewhat beneficial in certain cases, but not holistic. The most complete science of medicine is Ayurveda. And you go to the doctor, and those who are qualified to become doctors in Ayurveda, the first thing they do is check the pulse of the heart by checking the pulse by putting their thumb on your wrist where the pulse beat is. If the pulse beat jumps, that indicates one thing. If the pulse beat is smooth, that indicates something different. If the pulse beat is sporadic, so they can tell simply by the beat of the pulse where there is imbalance within the body. And based on their observation, they can say, are you feeling like this? And usually what they say is correct because the analysis is accurate based on taking a person's pulse, which is the heartbeat of the body itself. And then they prescribe different medicines accordingly. And they also give diet restrictions, diet enhancements like that. And it's not about anything else. It's not about getting injections. It's not about going to hospitals and getting yourself put onto ventilators and whatever else machines they throw at you. It's about really adjusting your lifestyle and following a regimen which will bring the body back to its natural rhythm, and then the disease will escape. Because disease is simply due to an imbalance within the body. That's all. All diseases, not just any one disease or some diseases like that. So Ayurveda, if I recommend, because Srila Prabhupada has personally said, when Prabhupada had his third heart attack in 1967, when he had just after about 2 years after he came to America, it looked like this was going to be his departure from the world. Fortunately, somehow they found one doctor. Obviously, he was an allopathic doctor, but he gave good advice. He said to Prabhupada's fledgling disciples, those who are just come maybe for a year since Prabhupada, your your uh, your your master, he prays too much. That's what he said. Prabhupada understood it. He said he needs to walk and he needs to get massages. And Ayurveda is very much at focus on bringing back health through various types of treatments, which centered around various types of massages. So Prabhupada did that. He got a regular massage for 1.5 and 2 hours a day. And then he started his morning walk in 1968. And he continued that all the way to the time he departed. But Prabhupada said that three things gave him 10 more years. Of course, he prayed to Krishna, but he also had to do things on the personal level. And what is those three things? He said, one was my daily massage, two was my morning walk, and three was my Ayurvedic medicine. That is written. So Prabhupada put a lot of emphasis on these three things for his own health. And he spoke so much. You can read, now one book was written by His Holiness Prahladananda Maharaj, called, which was all the statements Prabhupada made on health, which are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of statements. Because Prabhupada would sign each one of his letters to his devotees, hope this meets you in the best of health, your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So Prabhupada wanted devotees to put some time, energy, and effort in keeping good health. Because he said that when your health is good, then you can serve to your maximum capacity. When health is impaired, your service may also be impaired. Of course, you can always do something, even in an unhealthy condition. But Prabhupada was speaking in general of keeping good health. And that way, one can remain enthusiastic in their execution of devotional service and contribute so much to the expansion of Krishna consciousness around the world. So he put a lot of emphasis. You can see here how Prabhupada is very carefully speaking about food. Out of all of the activities, or you might say all of the ingredients that make up good health, is a proper diet. A proper diet is so essential for keeping good health. And people have different constitutions as evaluated by Ayurvedic medicine. There are Vatas, people who are primarily Vata, people who are primarily Pitta, people who are primarily Kalpa, and then there's mixed Vatas. There are Pitta, Kalpa, Pitta, Vayu, like that. There are 5 different combinations of categories by which people have different bodies, and therefore their diets are also slightly different to maximize their health. So there are many systems by which you can find out your, what we say, your constitution, and then align a diet with that. They actually have tests. They ask you questions, about 90 questions about your activities of your body, and you can determine what is the best diet for you. We eat sometimes because we like the food, but that doesn't mean we're going to stay healthy. Liking is good because food must taste good. It says here, food that is tasteless is thrown out. It's not that we eat tasteless food and we call it health. No, food has to, because taste is also an inspiration for the body to respond in a positive way. And so, therefore, I would suggest devotees take some time, find out your constitution by going to an Ayurvedic physician or taking different tests, which can also reveal that constitution, and learning what is the best diet. And keeping regular habits is very fundamental for keeping good health. That means eating at a certain time every day, sleeping at a certain time every day. Srila Prabhupada, although he was busy traveling around the world, he kept a strict regimen of eating and sleeping. And it was amazing how he did that. It was impossible for the devotees who were with Prabhupada to do that, but Prabhupada did it. He showed by example that regulation is the foundation for two things: good health and the ability to do many more things within the time period that we have. When you're regulated, you can do so much more. When you're irregulated, you think you're doing things, but you're not doing much. You're more or less just doing whatever comes to your mind. And so Prabhupada showed by example like this. So another important point that I want to emphasize is the importance of taking proper rest. Prabhupada gave us a formula for rest. He said, take no more than 6 hours. And in some cases, you can go to 7 hours for those who need it. And that would be the maximum amount. Too much sleep also is not healthy for the body. The body needs to move. The body needs to have exercise. The body needs to be active. An active person generally is more healthy than a person who sits in front of the computer 8 hours a day and calls it my job. That's another way to decrease your lifespan, because sedentary services are very much against good health. We need to move and we need to exercise. The body is meant for that. We find that there are statistics that in countries where people work in offices with air condition, they have a very high rate of diabetes because they don't, what we say, perspire. One of the ways of getting rid of toxins in the body, there's two ways: through the elimination of waste, and the other way to eliminate waste is through the skin. So when you perspire, a lot of the toxins in the body will come out, and that will help to purify the body from these toxins. So it's good to work up a sweat. We can do that by dancing in kirtan. It's also good for the heart. There was one devotee in our movement. He dances no matter what the kirtan is, how fast, how slow, who's leading, it doesn't matter. He's dancing. And he went to the doctors to have his heart checked out. The doctor said, out of all the hearts I've ever checked, I've never seen such a healthy heart. And he's always dancing. So I'm not saying that you should follow that completely, but when Prabhupada was asked, because the Bhagavad Gita mentions the one who is temperate in eating, sleeping, working, and recreation, temperate means moderate, can execute properly the yoga system. And it's also conducive to optimum health. So this recreation, when Prabhupada was asked, what is our recreation in Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, dancing. Dancing. So some of you might find it very difficult to dance, but at least do some exercises, because exercise, especially as you get older, you require more exercise. because the body gets stiff, the bones get a little bit, what we say, less, what we say, stronger. Exercise is good. Getting massages is good, especially with certain types of recommended oil treatments. And also proper sleep. We mentioned that Prabhupada was talking about no more between 6 and 7 hours. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also speaks, he's also one of our greatest acharyas. He says that every hour you sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours of sleep after midnight. So it's recommended that one takes rest between 9 and 10 o'clock, no later than 10, and get up at 4, like that. And then you have 6 or 6.5 hours worth of restful sleep. And then balance that nicely, because if you go to bed late, then your body is working excessively, and each of the organs have a time period where they regenerate, and the liver regenerates during the hours of 1 o'clock in the morning and 2. And the liver gets rid of toxins and gets rid of a lot of excess stuff that we need from intoxicate toxins like that. So our lifestyle is very, very essential. Living in cities, we have to somehow or other make arrangements for keeping good health. It's a little harder. One of the principles of good health is space. Space. When you live in an area with open space,
Krishna Maharaj, yeah.
we just lost you for a moment, but I'll stop here and open it up for discussion. We can speak more on this topic of health because it's unlimited, but I just wanted to throw a few things out, and devotees can ask questions, and even about parts of health considerations that I didn't mention. Uh,
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. You almost gave a lot of insights into this topic. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, please turn on your cameras if possible. I request you all. And if you have any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead now. Anything about this topic? Maharaj, I was thinking like, does Ayurveda mention about exercising regularly? Insist on that or not?
If you speak to the doctors, they will say, yeah, they will talk about that.
Mm.
Yeah, but because yeah, they also talk because exercise is a necessity to keep the body functioning at its normal capacity. Not too much. You can do too much of exercise also. But the
Mm.
best exercising is walking. Walking, or in Krishna consciousness, dancing. These two things. Therefore, Prabhupada used to go out for a morning walk every morning. Says if you walk about 40 minutes every morning, that'll be enough to fortify your health in that area. So walking is good. Sometimes we not that just strolling, but walk, actually walk. Walk with some energy behind it.
Yeah, like brisk walking. Mhm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
Taking cold bath in the morning is also good for health in the sense that it purifies the body. It destroys all of the impurities that come by way of sleeping. It scares away ghosts and various other forms of entities that are troublesome. A cold bath is recommended. So devotees might find that hard to do. So the recommended way or the compromised way is to clean yourself with warm water and then end with cold water and just fill the body with some cold water.
Maharaj, your internet is not stable today. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Maharaj, we lost you a little bit. I think your internet is not stable.
Yeah, I know that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Okay, go for questions.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. So, Parijata Mataji has posted a question. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. How do Ayurvedic cleansing practices like Panchakarma compare to spiritual purification through sadhana and chanting? Does it contribute to good spiritual health too?
That's individual. When you go for treatment, the doctor recommends. I'm under treatment right now in Ujjain. I was talking to a doctor, and he says generally we don't do panchakarma because some of the activities of panchakarma are really hard to do for people and not necessary. So he takes it and breaks it down to three aspects instead of five. Pancha means five. So when you want to get some treatment from the doctor, you usually go and get an evaluation. And then based on the evaluation, he can determine what is the treatment. But people can't just run up and say, I want panchakarma. That might not be what you need. Or you might find yourself, becoming a little more sicker even after you do it because it may displace certain things that are not needed. So everything has to be done under the physician's care.
Mm. Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. And she has another question. Ayurveda suggests that cooking with anger or stress creates toxins. Does devotional cooking transcend these lower energies?
No, it's mentioned also uh, that eating and cooking should be done peacefully, free from stress, free from anger, free from arguments. Even devotees should also note that when you eat, you should eat in a very peaceful frame of mind. If you decide to talk, usually you talk at the end of the meal when you have consumed most of your meal. Srila Prabhupada gave the example. He would take prasadam alone. He would face the wall and not see anything around him. He would meditate on the food being Krishna in the form of prasadam. And he wouldn't talk. A few times when there were some special guests, he ate with them, but that was very, very rare. Most of the time he ate alone. So cooking also should be done without anger, without what we say, a negative consciousness. You should be thinking, I'm cooking for Krishna. I want to make it as nice as I can. And you think how to make it nice. And you keep the mood of devotion as this is a service and not simply a process of cooking. So it should be free from anger, from negative thoughts, should be done peacefully, should be done even happily, both in cooking and in eating. And that's coming from Ayurveda also. I was just reading that today.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. Rishabh Prabhu, please go ahead.
We have a question from Rishabh.
Yeah.
Then we have Sri Devi, who also has a question. She's sitting here where I am.
Yes, Maharaj. Rishabh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear Gurudev and Vaishnavas, please extend my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada. I have actually one comment regarding this health. Actually, when we started going to Jain Maharaj together for these treatments, and after doing some kind of a panchakarma and planning to do more of these treatments, my my vata mental activity started to reduce, and my intelligence of understanding Krishna consciousness increased. And actually, I noticed such a big change that I can actually be conscious when I'm doing service, not just running around and just doing things while my mind is, taking me off. But in the sense, I noticed that this state was actually a disease state, mental disease state, which was still functionable in the society, even in devotional circles, but it was actually a disease state which needed to be treated, which needed to be taken in consideration. Because I noticed the more I'm pushing myself, my vata goes even wilder, and then it's even hard to even do any service, and at least not mechanically. Mechanically, you can do anything, but that's not service anymore. So, in a sense, I'm really happy to have this lecture, emphasizing again on how health is important, because we think that, at least my comment is that health is not only, physically you're able to move, but also means like how, mentally healthy you are, peaceful you are, to actually be able to perform devotional service and to actually be aware of what your limitations are. Otherwise, just, okay, sometimes we need to jump somewhere and do something, but these are my realizations of not pushing myself anymore, but trying to see how much consciously service I can do, because I don't see, just doing things as productive or pleasing to Krishna.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in his statements that disease is caused by three things: overeating, uncleanliness, and anxiety. And so anxiety is one of the biggest factors in taking the body down, because the body is connected to the mind. And when the mind is distressful or anxious, not normal, then it affects different organs in the bodies also, like that. So Ayurveda deals with things on a holistic. It takes in the psychophysical nature of the individual and analyzes it from that point and prescribes remedies accordingly. That's why even the same disease for two different persons the cure may be slightly different because of the psychophysical nature of the individual. So that's the superiority of this form of medicine, it goes not just to the physical aspect, but it comes in relationship to, just like my doctor just told me the other day, he said, take a little something. He was telling you, take a little chaiwan prash in the morning. He said, it's good. It'll give a little sugar to the mind. And when the mind has a little sugar in the morning, it will energize your chanting also. Your mind will be a little bit more sharper. And I did it, and I found it was exactly what he said. So you'll see how food affects the mind also. Activities affect both the mind and the body. So we can't separate the mind and body, although two distinct features of our existence, but still they work so closely together. So cures and activities nourish both and affect both aspects.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so
You.
much. Mr.
We have a question from Sri Devi here.
Yes, yes, Maharaj.
Your Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances or glories to Srila Prabhupada. On the subject of eating, Guru Maharaj, you mentioned that, it should be done in an atmosphere of peace, serenity, focusing on the food, etc., without too much distraction. But most of the times, especially we as mothers, women of the house, we are stressed, we are anxious, we are trying to do five different things at the same time. And because of that, emotional overeating happens, or the children have left so much food on their plates, you don't want to throw it. So you eat up, leftovers thinking, oh, I don't want to waste this food. So many reasons women, I'm speaking of myself, we tend to overeat due to anxiety. So is this something peculiar because of a woman's nature? And if so, how can we overcome that tendency?
Well, she's saying that, the chaos that comes during lunch is it due to the over concern of the cook when they're trying to do everything? No, it's just due to lifestyle. That's all. It's not, can't say it's a woman's nature. Or a man's nature. It's due to a lifestyle adaptation. It's not like that. What you're saying is more or less the anomalies, but the standard is not like that. When Mother Yasoda was arranging for Radharani to cook for Krishna, she was thinking how to make her son so nourished, and she kept thinking of different preparations that he liked, and she would commission both Rohini and Radharani to work together to put together a meal for Krishna. But it was done in a joyous way. And when Krishna was eating, he would also be very joyful. He would even share his food with his friends. And sometimes they would laugh and joke while they were eating. Of course, that's Krishna. So, yeah, eating should be something that like when you're done eating, you should feel happy and nourished. If you don't, that means something went wrong. Mhm. And then, of course, Bhagavad Gita says, not too much, not too little. We have to follow that to the best of our capacity. It's not that you have to submit to everybody's desire who invites you over for lunch and they want to feed you till you can't move. That doesn't really serve anybody's interest, neither the cook, the host, or the eater. Prabhupada quoted Chanakya Pandit. He said, "You dress to please others, you eat to please yourself." You don't eat to please others. You eat to please yourself, and you dress to please others. How you look in the presence of others is it can be very pleasing or something that people don't want to look at. So dress to please others, eat to please yourself, not the other way around, which goes on in modern society.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Balwani Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Jai Shri Nityananda. Wow, such a fascinating discussion today. I look forward to hearing more of the devotees, also their observations on this material. It was fascinating to hear the things that I am sort of doing right, at least from your description of Ayurvedic, and the things that I'm not doing right. I personally had never considered getting a massage before. Just would never enter my mind that would. And so having a massage, how do I do that Krishna consciously when a stranger's touching me? I guess that's one question.
Well, that's not an absolute principle. Generally, when people get old, they require massages to keep the body supple, to keep the body from getting the oil that goes through the skin, keeps the body from drying out inside and nourishes it. So, and if you're going to get massages, you should always do it with a doctor who is authorized in terms of the Ayurvedic treatments, or many of them are massages, and with devotees. I wouldn't go outside to some massage therapist like that, because you also pick up their energy, and their energy is not necessarily devotional. It's not at all. So yeah, it's not that you have to have massages, but they do help as one gets on in age. But walking is necessary for everyone. That's important. Running doesn't necessarily give you good health, but walking does. Prabhupada would say the runners are actually decreasing their lifespan because you have so many heartbeats allowed to you at the time of your birth. And by increasing the speed of your heart, you're also decreasing your lifespan. So those who are runners who think that they're, I mean, if you are a jogger, just that's not so bad. But running, no. Walking fast is good. Fast walking is very good.
They always seem to be running away from something when I observe them, runners. But,
Yeah, they run away from maybe something. You're right. Can't tell what, but if you look at their faces, they look miserable.
yes, absolute suffering, pure total suffering.
Yeah.
I've also heard some talk at the temple about cold and hot water in terms of drinking it. Should I, and I, as a Westerner, for some reason grew up loving and still love ice water. Is that something that I should cut back on? And all
No,
this.
you shouldn't cut back on. You should give it up completely. It's not good. Water can be cool, but I drink warm water all the time. Warm water is good for the body, nourishes the organs. and keeps you from getting sick. Just like I was with one lady the other day, she had some acid problems in her stomach. I said, just drink some warm water. She drank warm water and the acid was gone. If you have back pains, drink water, your back pains will decrease automatically by drinking water. Water should be, I mean, cool is okay. I don't drink cool water unless it's excessively hot out and my body is heated up, then I drink cool water. But generally I drink warm water all the time.
So exclusively warm water and give up ice water. Yeah.
Ice water is death. It is.
Well, thank you, Guru Maharaj. I will definitely do that. I will start today. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
You'll find that your health will improve automatically. And one should drink, it says one should drink in relationship to their weight, half the amount of water. So generally between 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day is the recommended amount of water for an average person. Water is more effective in the early part of the day than in the evening, especially when you first wake up. First, you clean your tongue from any, what we say, residue that forms on the tongue during sleeping. Use a tongue scraper, then drink the water. Don't drink the water immediately because all of that residue will go into your stomach. Clean your tongue first and then drink 1 cup. Sometimes if you feel inclined, you can drink 2 cups of water in the morning. It's good. It's good for evacuation too. And evacuation is best when you first get up in the morning.
Yes.
That's recommended for a good health also.
You do.
Like that. There's many. I mean, Prabhupada also talked all about this. Prabhupada spent a lot of time talking about health. Braj Mandala, you want to say something in relationship to what you wrote?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Yes, I mean, I practice hot water every morning, every night, all the time. And we have oils in our bodies which we consume, which the body produces naturally. But especially through consumption, those oils stain the body in the stomach. And travel around the body as well. So when we have hot water or warm water, those oils melt. For example, if we have a pan of ghee and we pour cold water in it, you can see the ghee will just float on the top and become all clumped up. But if we put hot water, it melts. So similarly, the body will be able to release those toxins and all those oils, and they will melt, and you can get rid of them in this way. It's really important. Hot water, that all of the Vaishnavas have hot water first thing in the morning, as you mentioned, Guru Maharaj. And at night, if you can, yes, it will get you up and you will need to, pass water at night, but that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, that we keep everything loose and everything just lubricated, if you like. Yeah, right, correct.
Yeah, Raj Mandala works in the health field, so he has knowledge of a lot of this subject matter. That was good advice.
Thank you, Babaji.
Yeah.
Maharaj, we
Thank you.
have a few
They
questions on
say
chat.
if you lose your mind,
Hare Krishna.
you lose everything.
Guru Maharaj, you came out of
Yeah.
you came out there. We couldn't hear you. Do you mind repeating that, please?
Yeah, we couldn't
Yeah.
hear you.
If you lose your money, you lose nothing. If you lose your health, you lose something. And if you lose Krishna, you lose everything.
That's a good one. That's a real good one. I have to remember that one. I like that one. Thank you, good much. That's a good one.
So we have few questions on chat and the comments too, Maharaj. So Parijata Mataji had a third question. Does prasadam change the eater, or does it awaken what is already present within the soul?
Does the prasadam change the eater?
Yeah, or does it awaken what is already present within the soul?
Well, prasadam is Krishna, ultimately. And therefore, it is transformable. It transforms your consciousness. But is that transforming coming from the external, or is it coming from the soul? I think it's both. Because by taking prasadam, the mind and body also get nourished and become energized properly. And of course, not too much. And the soul automatically is connecting with the spiritual aspect of eating, and therefore it is also revealing its qualities slowly through that. So I think it would be both simultaneously.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank
That's
you.
my understanding.
Okay, so and we have a comment by Rasavilasni Radha Mataji. She is saying that I took the Virechana treatment. My Ayurvedic doctor had suggested it to me. It was really good. For 16 days, I ate only simple food like khichdi without any spices, and my mind was very peaceful and focused at the time. I wasn't getting agitated, and it was also helping me in my spiritual life. Ayurvedic medicine helps a lot. I am realizing these things. Just wanted to share. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for sharing.
Yeah, these sharing of your experiences help us to understand the validity of this process that we of eating, how we can benefit from treatment, how we can benefit from following a certain regimen that is recommended. But one should not abuse the principle of prasadam and think I can eat any time or any amount because it's prasadam. No. Then you're taking prasadam as being ordinary food. Therefore, the word is not eating prasadam. We don't eat prasadam. We honor prasadam. That means we're honoring Krishna, who appears in the form of foodstuff. It's an act of devotion to accept the mercy of the Lord in the form of foodstuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, Maharaj, there is one question.
We have a question from Shakshi. She's
Yes,
also with me.
yes, Maharaj.
Thank you for the so my question is, people say that onion and garlic has a lot of health benefits. So, and they criticize us for not eating onion and garlic. Can you please say something?
We get criticized because we restrict our followers from taking onion and garlic, who say that there are health benefits from these. I have a study done on garlic which shows the opposite. So that's controversial. It might work for some people and it might not work for other people, or it might not work at all. That's garlic. Onion is less destructive, but as we were reading these verses from the Bhagavad Gita, it mentions foods in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So onion and garlic fall in the modes of passion. They're not foods in the mode of goodness. And therefore, when we offer food to the Lord, we can only offer food in the mode of goodness. So we don't take onion and garlic because we accept only prasadam. And therefore we offer only those things that are in the mode of goodness. And these other foods increase the passion of the body. That's why they're restricted. That's one reason. And the other reason is they're not offerable to the Supreme Lord. And Shakshi has a second question.
Some people see leaves as medication. So is it prescribed?
Prabhupada, you can read it. Prabhupada talked about Tulsi and how we shouldn't use Tulsi as a medicine. She is a sacred plant that is being offered to Krishna like that. So one of my god sisters asked Prabhupada 17 questions based on Tulsi, and Prabhupada answered each question. And one of them is that Tulsi should not be made into teas for our personal. She is to be used only to put on the food that is offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only on Vishnu Tattva. She's sacred. She's a resident of Vrindavan. Her leaves are her way by which she offers her devotion to the Supreme Lord. And it's not meant for our, health remedies. That's Prabhupada's response. I take Prabhupada's words as absolute. People might say, well, they might give different opinions. Okay, you give your different opinion, but my opinion is what Prabhupada's.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
You can
Hare Krishna. Sorry, we couldn't hear you, Maharaj.
find that. The girl's name is
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, can you unmute, please? We see Maharaj online, but I think the internet is. Maharaj, we couldn't hear you last 2-3 minutes. It was like breaking and Hare Krishna.
Did you hear the question?
Yeah, I heard the question. We heard the question, but the last part when you are talking about some girl or some name you were mentioning, we couldn't understand.
Well, I was responding to the question by saying that Prabhupada answered a series of questions that was written to him in the form of a letter about Tulsi.
Yeah, you said like Prabhupada's opinion is the absolute you feel. After that, we got.
People might say different things about Tulsi and medicine, but I accept whatever Prabhupada says.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
There might be different opinions there. But...
Nice. Yes, Maharaj. So we have a question by Ashutosh Sharma Prabhu, I think Sri Advaita Prabhu. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, what are the recommended and non-recommended or prohibited food as per Ayurveda?
What, say again?
What are the recommended and non-recommended or prohibited foods as per Ayurveda?
Well, it depends on your constitution and depends on your, what we say, particular situation. You go to the doctor and he gives you a diet also. So just to illustrate your answer, okay, so what I'm about to show you is a food chart. Okay, here it is, food chart. So this is one page, and there is 5 pages, 6 pages like this of listed food items, which includes about a couple hundred different food items. So I sat down with the doctor and we went down through all of the categories, such as vegetables, vinegar, spices, grains, rice, flour, breads, seeds, oils, nuts and dried fruit, dairy products, fruit, and miscellaneous stuff that doesn't fall into categories. And he asked me, I read off the food and he told me yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So again, it's individual, depending on your constitution and depending on your particular ailment at the time. But a couple foods that I know that Ayurvedic doesn't really sanction so often, one is yogurt. They don't put much, they don't give, they say we shouldn't take yogurt. That's one thing that they speak about. And that's about all I can think of. They say we shouldn't take any non-veg also. That's restricted in Ayurveda also. Non-veg. Okay. I mean, speak to an Ayurvedic physician who is qualified, and they'll give you your diet.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hope that helps, Prabhuji. So we have one more question by Parikshit Prabhu. He's asking, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. It was very inspirational class, Maharaj. My question is, if we engage in many services in the temple at the same time in material works, so very hard to take out some time for walking or exercise. So how can we make it a point we must do it?
Go on a japa walk in the morning. Can't go outside because the weather is freezing, then do it inside, but walk, you gotta walk.
Mm. Yes, Maharaj. Even Brajahari Prabhu also is asking, like, can we integrate walking routine while we are chanting? So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't go outside because I don't want to get distracted by the external environment, so I walk inside.
Mm.
I'll find an area
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
which
your
is
voice
big
is good.
enough for me to walk around in.
Yeah. Yeah, understood, Maharaj. So, and yeah, we have, I'm looking up the chat. Sorry, Maharaj, your voice is breaking again. We are not able to hear. Hare Krishna.
We have one devotee in our movement. He's known as the walking monk.
Yeah. His Holiness Bhakti Marcus Swami Maharaj, I think.
Bhakti Marg Swami.
Yeah.
He did another walk marathon. Yeah, he just did another walk marathon. I forgot where he walked. He walked across one country again, just recently.
Mm.
He's walked across Canada 3 times, back and forth,
Wow.
which is over 7,000 kilometers. He's walked across the United States.
Oh.
Today I would that he walked into another place. Walking is the best many ways to keep good houses.
Yes, Maharaj.
Walk.
Thank you, Maharaj. So, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, you're on mute, Maharaj. You can unmute. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, are you able to hear me?
Any more questions?
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, we
Any more
have.
questions?
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, we have. One second. Yeah, Parijata Mataji is asking, can devotion and satsang help release deep-seated emotions that physical treatment alone cannot address?
Yeah. Yeah, chanting Hare Krishna can do that.
Okay, Maharaj. And Ananya Bhakti Radhika Mataji, she is asking, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Can we eat food which has yeast in it, like bread and pizza?
Certain yeast is contaminated. There's natural yeast, but there is a disease that's caused by yeast. It's called Candida. Candida is a disease caused by yeast. So you should consult with your physician on that one, or some health expert. There's natural yeast and then there's artificial yeast also.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay, so.
Yes, Maharaj. We have one more question, Maharaj, by Netravati Mataji. She is asking, how is the food affecting us? Is there anything to do with the prana level of food?
Yeah, food produces prana. Yeah. Food taken according to time, according to a proper amount, in the proper atmosphere, cooked by devotees, will always be something that will keep good health. Not too much, not too little.
So, Maharaj, I have a question. Like, what is the time when we go to the Ayurvedic doctor? Like, do we go when we get sick, or like, even though we are not sick, or we want to know about our constitution and follow Ayurvedic lifestyle? Which way is recommended more?
I would suggest devotees go to Ayurvedic just for a checkup and just find out what is their health situation and get some advice.
Mm.
You have to go?
Even
Can we hear you on Zoom?
I'm closing it now. Okay, so we can stop here.
yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
If you like, I can do another session on Friday. If you think it's important, and I'll cover areas that I didn't cover today.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
Take a consensus, Shrimati, and let me know that we should do another concession, or should we go back to the Srimad Bhagavatam? Tomorrow we'll do Bhagavatam with.
Yes, Maharaj. I have to announce the class.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We can do another session with health if you'd like. Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, that would be helpful because devotees have a lot of questions. So yeah, we can have Maharaj. And tomorrow's class. Sorry.
One of the ways to stay happy, stay healthy, is stay happy. That's why they say happy and healthy goes together. So if you're happy, you're most of the time healthy. How do you stay happy? Chant, dance,
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
and associate with devotees, and you'll stay happy.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
Maharaj. That's true.
I'm going to break right now.
Sure.
because-
I just want to quickly announce tomorrow's class, Maharaj. It is with Bhakti Sangha devotees. And the verse number is Srimad Bhagavatam 8.13.12 to 13. 8th Canto, 13th chapter, verses 12 and 13. And the time is 20 minutes later to our regular time. I'll post the link in the WhatsApp group. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. My obeisances to all the devotees.
Thank you so
Srila
much.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai.
Jai Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Guru
much.
Maharaj
Hare
ki jai.
Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare